Welcome to another news roundup with the Block TV. I am Fatou Drame. First, we begin with the headlines. Angry protesters of the 3 years gender movement shows disappointment over court ruling. Fire ravages part of Jambe's house in Kanilai. Witness accuses Imam Fati for castigating the Ahmadiyyas as non-Muslims. Minister of Foreign Affairs said Gambia will not impose travel trade allowance on China because of the coronavirus. The Gambia Civil Society calls on Barrow to call a national dialogue. Gina Bass won the 60 meters women final at the IAAF World Athletic Tour 2020. Now we bring you the news in detail. On Tuesday, 6 February, supporters of the Operation 3 Years Gender movement shows dissatisfaction over court ruling. Hundreds of supporters stood at the I-22nd to show solidarity to the arrested executives. The supporters wore printed T-shirts and banners telling the government to free their executives. A supporter of the 3 Years Jotna movement has said the movement is a peaceful group with the ultimate aim of reminding the president of what he said.
But 3 Years Jotna is not a violence group. On the 16th December, we have done, and the worldwide see it, that we are peaceful and law-abiding. So, I think nobody can stand and say that 3 Years Jotna are violent people. We all know who are violent people. You can see how the security forces are pushing and pulling with our agencies who are willing to go and witness the court case.
Prominent Gambian civil society groupings have written an open letter to President Barrow urging the embattled head of state to show leadership and support the calls being echoed around the country for a national dialogue to take place as a matter of urgency. In the letter, the group stated that a listening and caring government will always gain the respect and garner the support of the citizens it leads. It blustered its argument by reminding the president that his administration's refusal to listen to public opinions, especially if well-intentioned, was unacceptable, intimating that this was the reason as to why the reoccurrence of police brutality, crackdown and arrest of protesters happened again like the previous regime. The group also cautioned the president and his administration that the decision they took to go to war with people that hold a different political view is a dangerous tripping point for the stability of the country. The authors of the letter went further to remind the president that such intolerance has severe consequences for his presidency and ultimately the country. They cited similar overreaction by Barrow's predecessor, Yahya Jammeh, who reacted with brutal force over similar demonstrations. Baba F. Trawale testified on behalf of the Ahmadiyyan Muslim Jamaat. He was expected to dwell on the 15 topics which affected their set. The head of the Jamaat in the Gambia testified that they formed a delegation to meet Imam Fati and his in-laws in Bakote to better explain their set. But he didn't stop the attack until he was dismissed as the Imam of State House. Mr. Trawale explained to the commission that the Supreme Islamic Council have no authority to stop any programs of the Ahmadiyyans in any media organization, adding that they are not members of the Supreme Islamic Council and they cannot be members. In other countries like Ghana, Nigeria, you have interreligious and councils where you have an Ahmadi as secretary. Trawale cleared the air regarding the Jamaat paying people who pray in their mosque. Trawale said, the issue of being paid $25 when you pray in their mosque is false. He said rather, they contribute to support the propaganda of Islam. He concluded that he was no longer invited to attend a meeting at State House because they were perceived to be non-Muslims. Fire on Tuesday and Wednesday ravaged bushes and parts of the surroundings of Kanilai, the home village of former President Yahya Jammeh. The fire, which reportedly started in nearby Alakunda, was initially controlled by soldiers posted at the village by Tuesday night. However, according to military sources, the fire continued to burn from Wednesday morning, engulfing and eating up some parts of Chambe's house and one of the pavilions at the Kanilai mini stadium. According to the Army PRO, Lamin Sanyang, he narrated that the fire started on Tuesday and that the fire entered through Woni, where the former president's house is located. He said, with the help of firefighters stationed in Kanilai, Gambia Armed Forces soldiers and residents of Woni, the fire was put off by nightfall. But to their surprise, the fire restarted all over again on Wednesday afternoon. Our soldiers are reporting that the fire is still raging and getting out of control. There have been no casualties so far, but some of the houses, including the 4-house in former President Jambe's compound, have been gutted by fire, the PRO said yesterday. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad has disclosed that they could not impose travel and trade restrictions on China amid the spread of the deadly coronavirus. Mr. Tangara told Ambassador Ma that the government of the Gambia appreciates and is grateful to efforts employed by China in containing the epidemic and the support China continues to render to Gambians in Wuhan among other provinces. He said, the Gambia fully recognize and highly appreciate effective response to the coronavirus outbreak and shared Gambian solidarity with the government and people of China during these difficult moments. The minister highlighted that the Gambia shares the World Health Organization recognition as well as other collaborating partners respond in tackling the coronavirus. Minister Tangara therefore assured Ambassador Ma that the Gambia will abide by WHO's recommendation for countries not to impose travel or trade restriction on China. Tangara, however, said, as a country, the government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Health, will continue to strengthen its surveillance system in all entry points to ensure the safety of people living in the Gambia, the statement said. Gina Bass is a Gambian athlete competing in sprinting events. She won the bronze medal in the 200 meters at the 2016 African Championship. Bass qualified for the 2016 Olympics and is the Gambia's flag bearer. At the 2016 Summer Olympics, she placed 52nd in the 200 meters hits and did not qualify for the semi-finals. She is the first ever Gambian qualifier for the final at the World Athletic Championship. She currently holds national records in the 100 and 200 meters. Gina Bass, who is currently qualified to the 2020 Olympic Games in Japan, is Africa's fastest in 200 meters. The Gambia's spectacular performance has attracted widespread commendation around the country and beyond. Many Gambians took to the internet predicting that Gambia's medal hope in this summer can never be better with this spreading performance of Gina Bass. Well, viewers, this is all we have for you in today's News Roundup. Join us next week for another News Roundup. For now, have a blessed weekend.